Video game endings. They're frequently some of the most memorable moments we have when playing. Often the culmination of hours of build-up, and sometimes the toughest challenge the game will offer. We place so much value on game endings. Was it hard enough? Did it move us emotionally? Was it narratively satisfying? Did we even want it to be over in the first place? I still remember my first video game ending. The long hallway leading up to Lance at the end of Pokemon Blue. An ominous march of uncertainty, followed by the toughest trainer thus far, and a surprise twist that the real final fight was against your rival all along. It struck all the right notes: challenge, surprise, satisfaction, and emotion, that you and your Pokemon buddies had done it and won the day. Nowadays, however, video game endings are the source of endless debate. The Mass Effect 3 debacle is emblematic of this shift, as fans were outraged at the lackluster finale to a series that had been built on the back of meaningful narrative choices and crafting your own personal journey. Danganronpa V3, the metaphorical Marmite of video game endings, left its fans in divergent camps, with one group decrying the slap in the face it delivered, while the other proclaimed it one of the greatest game endings of all time. Needless to say, it is far harder to find universal agreement about anything these days, let alone video game endings. It's the reason why there has been criticism levied at the endings of Nintendo's two biggest games of 2017, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, despite near universal acclaim. I, however, am here to celebrate the decisions they made, and talk about the value of something they both provide: a victory lap. One of the most famous victory lap endings in a video game comes from Super Metroid. After struggling to survive the corridors of murderous Metroids, and finally reaching the lair of Mother Brain herself, Samus is summarily brought to her knees by the overwhelming power of its final form. But, just when it looks like all hope is lost, the baby Metroid enters, sapping Mother Brain of its power and transferring it to Samus, who is now nigh on invincible. This fight isn't hard. It doesn't challenge your dexterity or knowledge, but rather serves as a victory lap for the player, a middle finger to the final boss, and a surge of power that the Metroid series is so well known for. The game makes a choice to serve the narrative and the player by allowing them to end the game on a high note, to give them the chance to take that victory lap and bask in it. It's a reward for the trials you've gone through, as well as a perfect storytelling moment, and it laid the path for many games after. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a game about preparation. How ready are you to take on Calamity Ganon is the question the game constantly asks. The entire game is about preparing for one fight, making sure you have enough health, weapons, armor, food and potions, as well as practice and knowledge. And even if you have all of those, the Bloodborne-esque Ganon form will still throw some surprises at you. But it is the final form that causes so many people ire. "It's so easy," they say. "He can't even hit you," they cry. And this is where they miss the point, because this fight isn't meant to be challenging. In fact, it isn't meant to be anything like anything else in the game. Breath of the Wild is a game built on freedom and choice, but this final sequence takes that away from you, telling you there is one way, and one way only, to do this. It presents you with a grand spectacle, a giant pig-formed Ganon reminiscent of the beasts from Shadow of the Colossus. It creates a moment where the orchestra can swell and contrast the stark, lonely piano notes the player is so used to hearing when they're out on the field. It allows the player to angle the camera down low as they gallop around the behemoth before them and bask in the dark yet hopeful atmosphere befitting a finale. It is a victory lap. You already slew Ganon, now seal him away in the most grandiose fashion possible. Super Mario Odyssey, meanwhile, goes one step further, not only providing a single victory lap, but something more akin to a victory marathon, as antithetical as that sounds. Your final fight against Bowser is suitably epic, though in the tradition of 3D Mario games, it's a fight you've seen before, only this time more difficult. But after that fight, when the game makes it clear that you must become Bowser to escape the collapsing underground base, is when the first stage of ending celebration sets in. Bowser is powerful and reckless as he demolishes everything in front of him, and you instantly gain a different feeling from controlling him, a feeling of strength and power as opposed to Mario's agility and mobility. Again, this section is not built on the back of difficulty, but instead on wish fulfillment and nostalgia. Hell, the sequence where Mario possesses Bowser is so chock full of references that fly by in a moment's notice that you'll want to go back and slow it down on YouTube later just to see what you missed. The idea of an escape sequence is also a part of Super Metroid's ending, and it is used by many games to create a final moment of tension before the end. However, in this case, because Bowser himself is an imposing and dangerous figure, that tension of "will I be able to get out of here?" is lightened, and instead the player feels a sense of surprise and joy as they dash to the end. That moment when Bowser goes 8-bit is pretty fantastic. But the real victory lap is what happens after the credits, as the camera pans down to Mario relaxing on one of the verdantly green hills of the Mushroom Kingdom just outside of Peach's castle, and you realise the nostalgia bomb this game is about to drop. In his critique of Mario Odyssey, Joseph Anderson postured that the Mushroom Kingdom level was bereft of any challenge in its design, and despite being a post-game world, he felt it hewed closer to the first level in a Mario game. But that analysis entirely misses the goal of this kingdom. The Mushroom Kingdom is a vacation, a playground where nothing can really hurt you, and the whole purpose is to inject a healthy dose of nostalgia into players familiar with Mario and his history. The entire level is a victory lap, allowing you to take a break, find fun nods and references to Mario's past. Yoshi is on the roof. If you look at the sky inside Peach's castle, you get a moon. And god damn, did I lose my mind when I saw the Mario 64 costume and then realised they had made an entire courtyard that was crafted from N64 style polygons. It was a joyous come down after the challenge I had just overcome, and an aesthetic contrast to the fiery underground area where you fought Bowser. In this sense, the Mushroom Kingdom is thematically built to lack threat and danger, as its welcoming, grassy plains and flowing brooks would not befit any back-breaking platforming. I value places in games that are welcoming and bereft of danger or threat. It's why people love towns in RPGs, or player housing in MMOs, comfortable spaces where you can feel safe and protected. The Mushroom Kingdom is like a warm hug, and is one of the best examples of a victory lap in video games that I've come across. To conclude then, video game endings come in all shapes and sizes, but there is a tremendous value in games that do not make the final task the most challenging. It is satisfying to take down a hard boss, I'll give you that, but too many games lock their final moments behind something that is overwhelmingly difficult. Here's looking at you, JRPGs. Nintendo, in choosing to give players moments of spectacle and joy as the game's final tasks, have created memorable moments that are not tied up with negative feelings, but rather triumph and victory. And in times like these, I think we could all use a bit of that. Hey, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Now that I have the function to record Switch games, hopefully I'll get some more stuff like this out there. So yeah, it was good to talk about two of my favourite games last year, and a neat thing they share in common, and hopefully I'll get some more stuff like this in the future. Let me know what you think, of course, in the comment, leave a like if you enjoyed it, all that good stuff, and I will be back soon with something else. I don't know what, but it'll be something. Till then, goodbye folks, thank you for watching, see you next time.